Some very interesting price chart indicators happening for XRP right now, and I want to show you that in this video, guys. Also, we have some things just in as it relates to Ripple and XRP and Gary Gensler exit speech. I got all that and more, guys. All I ever ask is if you do like talking about both Ripple and XRP, drop an X in the comment section, smash that like button, and share this video. Let others around the world know what is truly happening in this digital revolution. As we are seeing about a 3.5% drop in the total global cryptocurrency market here today. XRP, though, up 0.8% at the time of this recording. Of course, we aren't seeing a big pop, but what's important to know and notice is that Bitcoin is down today. Ethereum is down today, but not XRP. Are we starting to see the beginning stages of that decoupling effect that we've talked about so many times in the past? As yes, I do believe we are leading our way into an altcoin season, the likes of which we have never seen. But most importantly, the price of XRP, I want to show you this chart later that I think you're going to look at and say this has significant upside potential. Now, here today, Watcher Guru put out just in $870 billion asset manager Standard Chartered to offer Bitcoin crypto custody services in Europe. Now, why is this important? Because it is important to know that Standard Chartered had done a strategic investment in Ripple. And this is what I'm talking about. Why it's so important when we see partnerships like we just did recently with Chainlink and Ripple, and we start to see these network effects happening collectively. This is global mass adoption. This is the world of finance changing in front of us. It is not just a one crypto win all or a one network win all. It is interconnecting, laying the groundwork around the world to make this digital revolution happen together. And it just so happens that XRPL is literally changing the world. And as we saw from a clip the other day, I showed you, we are going to have a market opportunity of all the money. It's not just a small little piece, not just a small little segment of finance. We are going to touch everything in every sector. Now, Jack LaRippler put this out, breaking. SEC Chair Gary Gensler says the cryptocurrency market is plagued by bad actors, emphasizing the need for substantial efforts to regulate alternative coins and intermediaries within this market. Now, we've heard him say this in the past. We know the only true bad actor in this market. I shouldn't say that. There's plenty of bad actors. There are a lot of scams, a lot of pump and dumps out there. But one of the bad actors, I should say, one of the biggest bullies in the market and has been for years now, is Gary Gensler. So I'm going to play you this clip and I'm going to offer you some commentary as we call him out on his lies.
You often will point out it's a small sliver of that total multi-trillion-dollar package. But you came into this job, you gave a big speech in which you analogized the crypto world to the Wild West. I guess that makes you the sheriff. So as you get ready to hang up your spurs, is it less of a wild? I'm really belaboring the metaphor, but is it less of a Wild West than it was as you leave this office?
My daughters, if they ever watch this interview, will ask, "Where are your spurs, Dad?" I think that we've done some good things. Look, I came in, my predecessor, Jay Clayton, who was in this office, had also tried to address this new emerging part of finance. And as you say, it's less than 1% of our overall financial markets. But it was then when Jay was trying to address it, and he brought 80 enforcement actions in this area. We've brought in about 100 in our 4 years. It was consistent. It's maybe about 5% of what we do in our law enforcement. That means there's 95% in a sense, unfortunately, about other things, scammers and fraudsters and so forth. But in this field, it's rife with bad actors. And let me just split the field into two just for a minute. The public knows a lot about Bitcoin, which is, depending upon its market value on any given day, is 2/3 to 80% of the market value of crypto. And then there's everything else, or some people say Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else. These 10 or 15,000 projects, they're raising money from the public and the public's investing, or they're just the public's investing, hoping for a better future. I've been around finance for over 4 decades, and everything in the markets trade on a mixture of fundamentals and sentiment at any given time. But I've never seen a field that's so much wrapped up in sentiment and not so much about fundamentals.
I want to stop right there because, yes, I do agree that this market is largely based off sentiment. There are a lot of emotional investors out there, but when he talks about fundamentals, I agree there too, because markets do, in fact, need strong fundamentals in order for investors to find a way to that investment, to feel comfortable in that investment. That is why there are so many XRP holders, because what Ripple has done with partnerships with financial institutions all over the world is solidified the fundamentals, which has given us confidence as investors of XRP to invest in XRP. And so when he talks about fundamentals, why did he go after the number one company out there, Ripple, that has the strongest fundamentals in this market?
And these 10,000 to 15,000 projects, many of them will not survive. They're like venture capital investments. They're not going to survive. But there are also a fair number of small pump and dump schemes and other things in this. And of course, we've lived through a few years where, they became notorious, but they're in jail. The Sam Bankman-Frieds and the CZs.
Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried's like the guy that he met with multiple times?
And the Do Kwons, where tens of billions of dollars were lost by investors.
Can I ask you about those? Because early on when you talked about enforcement, you said bringing high-profile cases could lead to a change in behavior. Are you satisfied that those cases has led to a change in behavior in this space in particular?
It's a field that built up around non-compliance. And I'm proud of what we've done, building on what Chair Clayton and others had done previously. I think there's still work to be done, particularly I'm saying about these 10 or 15,000 alternative coins that are there, and the intermediaries themselves. I think there's still work to be done. And I think the public is probably aware of this, and less than 10% of the public invests in this field. I think various Federal Reserve, and even we did a survey here, these public figures, it's somewhere between 7 and 9% of the public. Should be aware these are highly speculative, volatile investments, and they're not getting the full and fair disclosure that's appropriate. What we're about here at the Securities and Exchange Commission for 90 years is letting the public decide what they want to invest in. And secondly, that the intermediaries, the brokers, the stock exchanges, the advisors, are giving that advice and doing what they're doing without fraud, manipulation, and so forth.
Settle something for me, because I think when you came into office, a lot of people looked at your immediate background, having researched a lot of digital assets, worked on them at MIT, and thought that you would be perhaps a champion of them. Has there been an evolution in the way that you approach crypto over that transition from academia to here, or while you've been
Here's
here?
The evolution.
People think you are somebody who's adamantly opposed to
Here's
crypto.
the evolution. When you're in academia or when you're not in this job, you can study something and observe it, as I did, and try to teach students what's the value proposition about this new technology, what's the value proposition of this new investment vehicles. But then when you're in this job, this is a chair of a 5-member commission over roughly 5,000 people that's a law enforcement agency. And so now one gets in this chair, building upon my predecessor had brought 80 cases, so we brought about 100. And this is a field rife with challenges and non-compliance with the securities laws. So sometimes people, you take an oath of office, you do what you can.
Instead of do what you can, what he really meant to say is you do what you're told, because of course he is a puppet. But his days are numbered, and just a few days from now, several days, I should say, we'll have a new SEC chairman come in, Paul Atkins, really change things up and really help move this fast emerging innovative market. And again, he is right. There's a small percentage of us, but what does that mean for you and I? That means huge opportunity. Now, Bank of America now exclusively using XRP for international transactions as revealed by Fox Business. I know we already touched on this recently. I know that a lot of people have been talking about this. I went a little bit deeper and researched who this guy is. I'm not going to attempt to say his last name because it's David something. I'm not sure, but I know he is a financial advisor. I know he's a pastor. He has a lot of licenses. He has a lot of certifications. Very reputable guy. But I think what's important to understand this, from my understanding, Bank of America internal transactions did happen on the XRPL back in the day. I believe it was prior to the SEC lawsuit, right? When he says 100% of those internal transactions, I don't believe, in fact, that it is happening right now. Once the SEC case is finally over and you get a change of administration and everything starts moving forward, then I think that these long ties that we've had with Bank of America, yeah, you're going to start seeing this happen, reopen up again, because the partnership is already there. But this SEC versus Ripple case has stalled everything, right? Just like you heard Brad Garlinghouse recently talk about holding a basketball underwater. Once you let go, the ball pops up. What does he mean by that? Well, we've got a new change of administration. We have SEC Chairman Gary Gensler that just spoke about on his way out the door, and a new day is dawning. Now, when we take a look at the price chart, guys, it is very important that we know where we are. As Dark Defender put this chart out here today, and I know this video is running a little bit longer than I normally do, but I want to show you guys this. Where are we in comparison to 2017? Typically speaking, historical patterns do replay. And so what we are seeing right now, based off this chart, this was 2017. Take a very close look at the similarities from 2017 to where we are now. And to make it even more clear, he circled the exact spot where we are right now in 2025 versus if we were to go back in time historically where we would be. You see two massive pumps happening just after. And that's actually what I see coming in 2025. Not one, but two massive pumps to send the price of XRP much, much higher than it is right now. Right now, my friends, is the time to prepare. Right now is the time to sit back, hold, and patiently wait for the fireworks to go off. That's all I got for you for now. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.